So, darlings, society says, I'm a loser. And honestly, they are right. But here's the thing, I don't care. And here is why you shouldn't either. For those who are new here, welcome. My name is Roxana, and here we expose and explore our traumas and f***s because people need people to share stories and heal. Today, I would like to talk with you about how we can redefine success, practice self-acceptance, and reject societal boxes. Previously, I already shared with you how for a long time I struggled with my identity. I had this pathological need to uphold a certain image and receive external validation. And whenever I was failing to do so, it would feel like the end of the world for me. My journey to self-acceptance was long and bumpy, and I'm not going to lie to you. Finding peace in my own definition of success did not happen overnight, and is certainly not a linear thing. Pretty much the same as healing. But when I finally managed to distance myself from societal expectations and feel that I am more than enough just as I am, it was the most precious and magical gift in my life. Just me existing was enough, was a gift in itself. So let's talk. How is it like to accept that I'm a loser? Our society has these boxes of success that we want to check, consciously or not, or we feel pressured to check. We all know them since it feels like our early childhood. Wealth, career achievements, getting married, owning a house, having kids, social media fame, etc. And not only once checked, these boxes provide us with external validation, but also they become markers of our identity or even the identity itself. They become answers to the eternal question, who are we? I'm a husband, wife, I'm a mother, father, I'm a CEO, I'm a doctor, I'm project manager, influencer, a lot of labels. But do they really tell me who are you? They describe your family status, your job, your function, your position, but they don't give me any information about what person you are, your character, your identity. But somehow, those roles are so precious to us. They start to define our existence. Don't get me wrong, I think it is amazing to have a job that you love and be proud of it or dreaming about having children. But the moment those roles, those boxes, those labels become the definition of our existence, of us, if we lose them or don't achieve them, we become nobody. We start feeling worthless. Those boxes of success, most of the time, are either material, wealth, owning a house, owning nice things, wearing pretty clothes, or external, meaning in relation to other people. Someone noticed us. Someone noticed our skills, our potential, and promoted us. Someone chose us to be their partner. We have the chance to love and care for someone. We won't, or we rarely will, call someone successful because they healed from their trauma, or because despite all life's challenges and pain, they are still kind and empathetic. We can admire those qualities, yes, but we won't call them successful. We perceive ourselves and our life through the connections with others. And yes, it is partially natural because we are living in a community and we are social creatures. But if those connections, those roles in relation to others become our sole value, our sole landmark of success, we condemn ourselves to feel happy and fulfilled only when and if the outside world allow us, patiently waiting for the right context. As an artist, I do believe that art is valuable when other people choose to make it valuable, meaning that artwork does not have an inherent value. And although I am a true piece of art, I refuse to wait for others to make me or my life valuable. And when we say we should perceive our life as a work of art, or as Nietzsche said, one must give their existence value by behaving as if one's very existence were a work of art. It's not about waiting for others to appreciate us, to tell us that we are worth it, or to resonate with us, to share our experience. But ultimately, it's about appreciating the beauty of human experience with all its contradictions and challenges. I don't check any of the boxes. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I don't have a successful career or what would be perceived as big professional achievements. I don't have wealth. And bonus, I'm bipolar. So, by all societal criteria, I'm a loser. And that's cool. Now I'm okay with it. But like I mentioned, for a long time I wasn't. I wanted to check the boxes. And before, when I was calling myself a loser, it was in a negative, judgmental way. And because of my mental disorder, this impossibility to fit in these molds, what I perceived as a failure, made me severely depressed, almost suicidal. So for me, finding balance and happiness outside of those boxes of success at the beginning was a question of survival, a matter of life or death, without exaggeration. I needed to find value in my existence without having those things. Otherwise, I knew how it would end. So my search began with the one and only question: who am I without all of those things? Everything starts with myself. And once I felt I knew my value, I no longer needed the societal boxes of success. they transformed. They no longer were boxes of success. They became simply things that might happen to me or not, that I might want to achieve or not. But to understand my value, I had to go inwards. Like I said, everything starts with myself. And that's where I had to search for it. Look, I know I'm not going to change society or change how most people define or measure success. I'm not here on a mission to fight or erase the boxes because I'm too lazy or not ambitious enough or not arrogant enough. Boxes of success existed for centuries. Sometimes we add, sometimes we subtract some of them, but pretty much the same thing. So, trying to convince society that I'm not a loser is a bit of a lost cause. People love to give labels. And as long as I don't have those external things, doesn't matter if I want them or not, they will often give me the label of a loser. So I decided to own it and redefine what it means to me. Why? Well, first, because although, yes, like I said, I did for a long time wanted to fit in those molds, but at the same time, I always had this spirit of contradiction. If someone tells me that I have to, I no longer want it. So, yeah, I'm truly bipolar in every aspect of my life. I always had a rebellious streak. It's an internal battle between traditions and revolution, so let's not go there. So yeah, so a part of me finds that when people perceive me as a loser is a bit satisfying. It's like a badge of honor. If I don't fit societal norms, well, maybe I do something right. And secondly, most importantly, when I found value in me, in my existence, in my life, outside of those boxes of success, there was an unbelievable freedom, relief, and happiness. And their presence is constant. Well, okay, more or less constant. I'm not a guru yet. So I'm like, if that makes me a loser in the eyes of society, well, then it's worth being one. And all of that allowed me to understand that there is no label that could define me. And understanding that makes me accept whatever label society wants to give me. It doesn't matter. Being called a loser or being called successful have the same value for me, which is 0. And like I said, now that I feel happy and fulfilled and successful without checking any of those boxes, I have the freedom to choose what I truly desire and try to achieve it while just enjoying the journey while I'm doing it. For me, being a loser is not about not having goals. It's about having goals without seeking validation of your worthness. There is a difference between validation and happiness, and societal boxes of success are about validation rather than happiness. And like I already said, I realized that my life is mine to live, and my happiness is not tied to someone else's scoreboard. My journey to self acceptance was a bit of a hermit period. I know it's not for everyone, but for me it worked. I took a break from the society and I started to think about my patterns in life, and which led me to think about who I am outside of my goals, my friends, my jobs. So, as an exercise, I tried to describe myself without using any adjectives or words that relate to others. So, no, I'm a daughter, I'm a good friend, I'm a lover, or whatever. You get the point. Um, Also, without using things that are temporary, that are not my essence, and can fluctuate with time, such as my physical appearance or my hobbies. Needless to say that at the beginning, this description of me was very short. But the more I got to know myself and I spent time with myself, the longer the description became. And I like what I read. I was like, yeah, this girl is on fire. I was proud of my essence and I started to really cherish it. And the fact that this description was permanent, it wouldn't disappear with time, and it didn't depend on other people, brought me comfort. I liked what I read on this paper. I found value in it. So I no longer needed to conform. I was great. I was enough. Why I would want to change it? And when I say that, it doesn't mean that I don't want to grow or evolve. Growth is wonderful. But in my opinion, it should not come from a place of lacking. I don't want to change because there is something wrong with me or because I think I'm not good enough. I am. But learning is an endless process, and learning about yourself as well. For example, I know that I'm empathetic, but there is always possibility to expand this quality. So there is always a room to grow. You could try this exercise to describe yourself. If anything, you'll get to know yourself better and you don't have to isolate yourself from the world as I did. Another thing that I did, which might sound cheesy or cliche, but it works, is gratitude list. I was doing it mentally, not actually writing a list, but whatever suits you. Every day I would force myself at the beginning. With some time, it became just natural to think about things I'm grateful for. So every evening, after I had the chance to live yet another day, I would be listing things from my life. And progressively, I realized that there is much more than I thought it would be. Small things that I spent so much time taking for granted. my family, food, peaceful sky, a day without an episode or being symptomatic. And not only it makes you more grounded, which is very important when you're bipolar, but also it makes you more present and attentive. So, in the end, I do believe that we should define success on our terms. If society calls you a loser because you're living a life that feels right to you, well, maybe it's a sign that you're doing something right. And in my opinion, the baseline would be to find the value in ourselves. Well, simply put, learn to love ourselves first as we are in the present moment. By doing this, we will be more equipped to deal with the judgment as well. Think about it. When we are in love, we don't care what people have to say about our person. We will defend them with all our power. We should have the same approach with ourselves. We should practice unconditional love towards ourselves. And loving yourself unconditionally also means to be able to forgive yourself for your mistakes and yes, we should practice accountability for our actions, of course. But I do believe that growth is possible only when accompanied with forgiveness. I won't be able to live fully as the more aware version of myself now if I daily punish myself for the things that my less aware version did in the past. And I love them both unconditionally. Focusing on self-acceptance, finding a supportive community, therapy, all of this can help you with handling criticism and pressure. Darlings, and what are the societal boxes that you feel pressure to fit in? Let's talk. Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoy authentic conversations, please subscribe so we could continue to share our stories and listen to each other. Here's to all of us losers out there. May we keep living life on our own terms. Love you. See you soon. Bye. Mwah.